Hey there. As 2024 winds down, it's the perfect time to revisit your goals, sharpen your focus, and lay out a clear game plan for 2025. So if sync licensing is something you're serious about or want to get serious about, then you're in the right place. Whether you're just starting out with zero placement or if you've been landing syncs for a while and need to level up, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step game plan to crush it in the new year. Now, before we dive into the plan, let me introduce myself. For those of you meeting me for the first time, I'm Eric Campbell. I've been in the sync licensing world for over a decade. I've written music for many commercials and TV shows, including Shameless, Chicago Fire, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Greenleaf, Baby Shark's Big Show, and a whole lot more. And I also run CTRL Camp. See? CTRL Camp. It's a free sync education community that I created to help independent musicians, producers, and songwriters succeed in this space. So whether you're at the start of your journey or ready to take it to the next level, I'm here to help you out. Okay, so let's break this into two parts. First, for those who are new to sync, we're going to cover the must-do steps to get started. Then we'll dive into strategies for the more experienced sync creators to help you maximize your results. All right, let's start with part one, the plan for sync newbies. If you're just discovering sync licensing or CTRL Camp, welcome. Sync licensing is one of the clearest, most actionable income streams available to independent musicians, producers, and songwriters. Now, it's not easy, I'm not going to lie to you, but it is understandable, and that's what sets it apart from all the other parts of the music industry. There actually is a roadmap that you can follow. So step one is understanding the rules of the game. Now, if you're really new and you don't know what I mean when I say sync licensing is just a term we use for writing music for film, TV, ads, video game. Pretty much anything where there is a picture on screen. Legally, if you're going to put music behind that picture, under that picture, in that picture, there needs to be a license. And we call it a synchronization license because the music is getting synced to picture. All right, so when we say sync licensing, we mean learning how to write music for TV, film, ads, etc. Okay? So let's dive more into understanding the rules of this business. Now, sync licensing isn't just about having great music. It's a business, and businesses run on rules. And these rules reveal themselves as questions that you should ask as you're creating music. Questions such as, do I actually own this music? If I have collaborators, how are we splitting the rights to this song? Did my producer create everything custom just for me, or is this a leased beat from a marketplace? Did my producer use any samples or loops that can't be licensed commercially? Is my music one-stop, meaning that it's free and clear for anyone to license and use? You need to know the answer to all these questions, and if any of that is confusing for you, or if it makes you feel unsure, then getting the knowledge is the first thing you have to do before pitching music for sync. And I've got a great resource to help you. I've created a free Sync 101 course in our community. It's available to anyone who wants to learn the basic rules of how sync works. I put a link in the description for you. Okay, next, step two, identify your lane. Now this is where the real homework begins, and it's fun homework. You get to watch TV. You get to watch movies, you get to watch ads. And as you watch these things, pay attention to the music that you're listening to. Does anything sound close to what you already make? Or do you hear things that sound like something you would enjoy making? Understanding what works in sync will tell you whether your current catalog is syncable or if you need to create something new. This is critical. You don't want to start pitching music if you have no proof that the industry is even using the types of things that you make. So, do your homework first. In the end, you might find a voice that works both for a sync and for your fan base. Or you might have two catalogs, one for artist projects and another one designed specifically for sync. Okay, now on to step three. Build your team and your production process. So once you know your lane, ask yourself, how am I going to get this music made? Are you a producer or an artist? Or both? Do you need collaborators to help create the style of music that you're focusing on? Do you need to hire vocalists, musicians, or producers? Collaboration is a sync superpower, and it can help you get music created quicker and get placements faster. Just make sure anyone you collaborate with knows the basics of sync licensing. That will keep you from creating songs that you can't pitch because you worked with people who didn't know the rules. Okay, finally, step 4, start building your catalog. Just take note, this is step 4, not step 1. You don't want to just jump in and start creating music for sync if you haven't taken the time to educate yourself on how the business works, if you haven't identified the right type of music that you could create for sync, and if you haven't built in your production process. But once you have those things, feel free to dive in and start creating. Now, the best advice I can give you when it comes to creating music to pitch for sync licensing is making sure that you get qualified feedback on that music before you pitch it. And when I say qualified feedback, I mean get feedback from people who understand and have experience in sync licensing and are able to communicate with you in music terms. You don't want to waste time spinning your wheels creating things that you think work without validating it somehow. Unfortunately, when you pitch music for sync placements, 99% of the time you won't get any feedback. Your song will either be accepted or it'll be rejected, and if it's rejected, you'll never know why. It helped me immensely to seek out qualified people who could give me feedback on the things that I created. It made me a stronger creator, and it helped me start getting my placements faster. Now, this feedback can come from a group of experienced peers in sync, music supervisors, or sync agents that you have a relationship with. Even paid professionals can help, as long as they have experience and can communicate with you in a way that's helpful. Okay, that's the plan. If you are new to sync, that's how you should be kicking off 2025. So let's move on to part 2, your 2025 plan if you're experienced and ready to level up. If you've been in sync for a while, 2025 should be all about scaling up, and you do that by focusing on output. Sync is a numbers game. If you're only creating one song every quarter, it could be tough to build momentum. Your goal for 2025 should be to increase that output without sacrificing your artistic quality. And here are some ways you can do that. Let's say your current process involves regularly spending time at a recording studio, then consider taking a month to learn how to record yourself at home. You don't have to learn how to mix per se, but learning how to track your own vocals could be a huge time saver, and that will help you complete your tracks a lot faster. Also, consider collaborating with more producers to create more content. Even if you're an artist who produces yourself, working with additional producers will allow you to create more songs quickly. And as a bonus, those producers you work with, or if those producers work with other agencies or libraries, then you instantly expand your pitch opportunities for the songs that you guys create. Lastly, continually review your songwriting process. If you're completing one song a quarter, ask yourself, what could I do to make this one song a month? If you're writing one song a month, what could you do to make this 2 songs a month? Always be working on your process, because in the end, the best songs most frequently and most consistently are going to win. All right, finally, let's talk about the pitching strategy. Leveling up in 2025 comes down to deepening relationships with the people who pitch your music. And this can happen one or two ways. If you work with an exclusive sync company, then ask yourself, how can you go deeper with them? Because the best way to make sure that your sync agency is grinding for you is to be sending them new music consistently and continuously. That's what keeps you on the front of their minds. Now, if you're working with non-exclusive agencies, maybe you can take some of those songs and spread them to some new agencies and then start working on building newer relationships. Whether you are going deeper with one relationship or broader with multiple agencies, success still comes down to being prolific and creating lots of songs, which goes back to our process. Work on the process so that you increase your output, and that output will help strengthen your relationship with the people pitching music for you. Okay, so that is your game plan for 2025. Whether you're starting from scratch in sync licensing or whether you're more experienced. How are you feeling? Is this helpful? Do you feel fired up? Do you feel like you know how you're going to start the year? All right, talk to me in the comments. What's your biggest challenge in sync right now? Where do you want to be by the end of 2025? Let me know, and I'll create more content to help you tackle those challenges. If you want to engage more with me, the link in the description will take you to our sync education community, CTRL Camp. Bam. See that? Bam. There you can get access to sync pitch opportunities. You can find collaborators, and it's all for free. So hopefully I'll see you over there. All right, let's crush 2025 together. Happy New Year. I am rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.